Welcome everyone to this webinar. We'll just wait a couple of seconds or 1 or 2 minutes so that everyone can log in before we will start. Thanks. Hello everyone. Once again, we'll just wait a couple of seconds so that everyone can join, and we'll start this webinar in a few seconds. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll start in a few seconds. We are still letting the last people in. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will start in a few seconds. We are just letting the last people in. Sorry to repeat it every time, just a bit weird if no one is talking and everyone is looking at each other. Okay, so I think now we're good to go. So once again, welcome everyone to this webinar, Tallinn, the Green Capital of Europe from Water Perspective. This event is co-organized by the City of Tallinn as European Green Capital 2023 and the European Water Association. Today is also a special day for everyone working in the water sectors, as it is a World Water Day. It aims to emphasize the significance of water and to create awareness about the global water crisis. Moreover, today is the opening day of the UN 2023 Water Conference in New York, and we are delighted that this webinar is an official side event of the UN Water Conference. The Water Conference will also emphasize and raise awareness about the water crisis and water situation on a worldwide level. Today's event will be an opportunity to discover the City of Tallinn and its current activity and project from a water perspective, and we will also hear from the Estonian Environment Agency, the Tallinn University of Technology, and Tallinn Waterworks. Our first two speakers will be Johannes Lohaus, the General Secretariat of the European Water Association, that will briefly introduce the association and make a welcome address, and then Krista Campus, who is the European Green Capital 2023 head of the EU and International Relations Department and Executive Director of the Tallinn European Capital 2023 at the City of Tallinn. Both of them have more than 20 years of experience either on the water sectors or on issues related to international cooperation, sustainable development, climate, and the cohesion policy. After the short welcome introduction, we'll share a short video about Tallinn and the EU Green Capital, and then Krista Campus will make her presentation. So Johannes, please, the floor is yours, and then Krista. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hello everybody. It's really great to have this event at the World Water Day and to put also water in the focus. That is an ambition that what we are looking for with this event, and we are very happy of this cooperation with the Green Capital of Europe, Tallinn. And Krista, thank you so much for supporting this event because we have this series since 2015. Each year we try to make a water event in the Green Capital of Europe. And now today, this year, Tallinn is the Green Capital of Europe, and we also want to focus a little bit on this for what I think very important message of the Green Capitals. A few words in front about the European Water Association. You see here on the slide three columns I would like to say. First, our membership. Second, our activities related to Brussels. And last but not least, what we are doing today, connecting people, bringing people together, have a running conference, etc. A few words to our membership. We have, all in all, we have more than 20 national member associations within EWA, so we are an umbrella for water association. And all in all, we represent more than 50,000 water experts around Europe. So that is really a good European cooperation within our organization. We are supported by our corporate members, And we are looking to enlarge especially our group of the research members, because we are a technical scientific organization, and we try to bring the new knowledge from the research also to the praxis, and this research membership should help us for these activities. The second point I want to mention are our activities to Brussels. You all know about the revision of the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive. That is a very, very important directive for the water sector, and the revision is very ambitious. And we think from the European Water Association it is good that we have this revision and to set new focal points with this revision. In detail, of course, there are a lot of problems, and there will be a long discussion, I'm quite sure, but in principle, this is very useful for the European water bodies. Last but not least, I want to show here are our activities bringing people together, like today with this webinar, but we are also looking for IFAT next year, where we will run a European symposium. And this huge fair is a really good place to meet. So, I only want to mention a few upcoming events with EWA. Please join us. We run twice a year an introduction course to the European water legislation together with Dr. Blöch. That is end of April. In May, we will focus on the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, what I mentioned before, in our spring conference organized by Flario, our Belgian member. And in June, we are looking for this very important regulation on water reuse, and it will be the date of that it came into praxis, that the regulation get into force. Last but not least, I would like to mention our activity regarding climate change and water management. We are organizing together with our Austrian colleagues a conference in the middle of October. Please put all these dates in your calendar and join our events. For today, I say thank you to everybody who will have prepared this webinar. I know it is a lot of work to do so, and I wish you all a fruitful morning, a fruitful 1.5 hours now, and I would like to give the floor back to my colleague Arthur. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johannes, for the words. Please, Krista, the floor is yours, so you're welcome before we play the video. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am also very happy to collaborate with European Water Association, because today it is very important day. We have International Water Day. And of course, water is very important from two perspectives. Without water, there is no life, but also related to changing climate and global warming, we are having more and more extreme climate events, which also means that we have to, number one, focus more on stormwater and rainwater management, but also increasing importance is also related to securing the clean drinking water and then ground water. So water is a very important topic, and I'm very happy to collaborate, and I'm very happy that we are officially side event for this UN Water Conference. I'm going to introduce a little bit more later after the video what we are doing in the city of Tallinn as a Green Capital of Europe 2023, how we are working with water issues, and how water is actually reflected in our strategic documents. Of course, my colleagues from the city administration, but also from universities and private sector from Tallinn Water they will be introducing more about their activities and projects. But thank you so much, and I wish very interesting and fruitful discussions. I think we need that kind of platform as this seminar or webinar today is, that provides excellent opportunity to really meet and to exchange the recent developments, best practices, and also provides opportunity to discuss about the joint potential new projects related on water and water management. So thank you, and I wish all of us a very interesting day.
Thank you very much. We'll now watch a short video clip about the Tallinn as EU Green Capital. And as I didn't mention, please use the Q&A function below on a bar if you have any questions or comments regarding the presentation that will follow, and we'll take questions at the end. Thank you very much. And now we'll start with the first presentation from today from Krista Campus, Tallinn, the Green Capital of Europe.
Yes, thank you, Arthur, and I will shortly share my screen as well. So I hope you can see it.
Yes.
Good. Yes, just in order to open this seminar and discussions, I would like to very briefly introduce what we are doing in Tallinn as European Green Capital this year, what our priorities are, and also I would like to highlight some of the actions and strategic directions related to specifically water as well. As you could see from the video, water is very important actually for the city of Tallinn. When it comes to strategic background documents, then I could name three city strategies. One is Strategy Tallinn 2035, which stipulates 6 strategic actions for the city of Tallinn, and one of them is green transformation, and water issues are dealt under this strategic action. Then we have also new environmental strategy 2030, and also Tallinn Climate and Energy Action Plan, which is also highlighting the aspects related to water from climate adaptation perspective. Tallinn is also working with UN Sustainable Development Goals. Tallinn is actually the only city in Estonia who is working very systematically and holistically with all 17 SDGs and trying to localize the SDGs. We have, for example, revised all our targets and indicators in the frame of Sustainable Development Goals, and we have stipulated core principles on how the city is working with global goals, and also how those goals should be integrated in Tallinn strategic documents and action plans. We have also reorganized our monitoring and reporting system so that we can also monitor and report the progress of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals in Tallinn. But when it comes to European Green Capital, then of course we don't have like our own or separate priorities or focus areas. These all are connected to aforementioned strategic documents, and the main aim and mission of European Green Capital Tallinn is to support the implementation of our long-term objectives and goals. When it comes to Green Capital year, then we have 4 main focus areas. Number 1 is biodiversity. Second is climate, both when it comes to CO2 emissions reduction and also adaptation. We are also working, focusing this year on topics related to sustainability governance and sustainable public administration, because we think that in the era of constant emergencies, we had COVID-19, we have war in Ukraine, and we have ongoing and increasing urgency when it comes to global warming and urgency of actions. And we think that today the cities cannot be governed and administered like business as usual, because the emergency is new normal, and we have to take that into account, and we have to be better prepared on how cities dealing different complex challenges. And Estonia in general and Tallinn is also very well known globally as innovative and digital city, and therefore, of course, one of the focus areas for us for this year is also green technologies and innovation, and more specifically on how cities could boost and better and more efficiently use those technologies and green innovation that is available. When it comes to biodiversity, then of course, as you can see, biodiversity is very important topic for Tallinn. We have 20% of the city territory is covered by green areas. We have more than 200,000 hectares of protected areas in the city of Tallinn. We have protected parks. We have also one island in the city territory. We have 2 lakes, a river, and we have very long coastline, which is 46 kilometers long. So in that sense, when it comes to, again, the topic of today's webinar. Of course, water management, clean drinking water and availability of drinking water is extremely important for city of Tallinn. Just a couple of maybe highlights from our strategic documents related to water. So the main objectives related to water, stormwater, water management in generally, and groundwater is stipulated in strategy Tallinn 2035, which is the most, let's say, important strategic document for the city of Tallinn, because it is the main document that sets long-term visions for the city development. And in strategy Tallinn 2035, there are, I would like to point out like two strategic objectives, which is related to the management of rainwater and also using nature-based solutions. And also second objective, which is related to seawater and all streams, rivers and lakes of Tallinn, so that they are all in good ecological condition. And this is, of course, also related to the fact that the environment of the Baltic Sea is not very good, and we have to do our part in order to improve the environmental condition of the Baltic Sea. The second strategy document stipulating objectives and goals for water is Environmental Strategy 2030. It is a recent document that was endorsed, if I recall correctly, last year. And we have in this environmental strategy like 6 action programs, and one of which is related to water. And this water-related action program is stipulating main areas of actions, which are related to monitoring and assessment of the condition of the water bodies, also monitoring the quality of wastewater, which is again related to the environment of the Baltic Sea, also improving the condition of water bodies, and organizing of protection of the water environment, and also improvement of its conditions and urban drainage systems, and also availability of high quality drinking water, both in public urban areas, but also in households, and ensuring drinking water as a resource in changing climate conditions are the main action areas for the city. My colleagues can go more deeper and more into details on what our projects and concrete investments and plans are after my presentation and during this seminar. Tallinn also has climate and energy action plan, and this plan sets the goals related to climate adaptation or adapting the changing climate and related water management. So it sets the objectives of development of the water management network, also using more nature-based solutions in restoration of rivers, but also when it comes to urban development of the urban space. Also development and monitoring system for the split flow stormwater system, and using rainwater as a resource in both buildings and in landscaping of the city. And there are also some examples of the actions. I'm not going into detail because I guess or I hope that my colleagues will talk about that maybe more specifically and concretely. But coming back to the Green Capital, besides of our objectives related to biodiversity and water, we have also the action plan and program, which is built around 4 focus topics. One is smart city, second is inclusive city, we have also learning city focus area, and sustainable city. And we have planned several different projects, events, activities around those topics. All together we have at the moment, now actually today more than 61 projects, events and initiatives. And the aim of these all these activities are to help to promote and support Tallinn's green transition and also implementation of the city's environmental and climate goals. But also one of the aims is to raise environmental awareness both internally and also, of course, externally, and also bringing green innovation to the city and strengthen cooperation and collaboration with citizens, community groups and other stakeholders. We are also planning several international events, and today's webinar in cooperation with European Water Association is one of those events. But we have also 11 flagships and legacy projects. And legacy projects and flagships are the ones which we would like to have longer term impact. So they are not just one single event or initiative, but these are the projects that will stay also here and that will be further implemented during incoming years. So as time is limited, I thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, then you are absolutely welcome to ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Krista. We have indeed our first questions in a Q&A, but I think we'll move to the next presentation from Mai Andresson, Project Manager at the Smart City Project Competence Center at the Tallinn Strategic Management Office, as those questions are regarding the city of Tallinn, and I think it might either be answered by my presentation, and if not, we'll just come back and take those two questions after her presentation. So my presentation will be about water challenges in Tallinn. Mai, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Artur. So I will share you my presentation. I have prepared to you.
You muted Mai, wait.
So, please confirm that you can see my presentation.
Yeah, we can see your presentation and we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I have prepared for you today a story map to introduce water challenges in Tallinn. So Tallinn boasts a 46-kilometer coastal line and a vibrant maritime history. The sea is a key ingredient in Tallinn's natural appeal. As a medieval trade center, the city and its local culture have been greatly influenced by its geographical position. In Tallinn, water professionals face several challenges when it comes to managing water resources. To reduce the vulnerability from climate change and facing marine litter, water itself brings great challenges. Today, I will provide you an overview of the surface water bodies in Tallinn city, including their quality and the main problems that the city has faced, is facing, and will face in the future. Tallinn is home to 16 water courses and 5 still water bodies, like lakes. The city also has a 46-kilometer long coastal line with the Baltic Sea. The Pirita River has the largest catchment area of all the watercourses. But the biggest catchment area that originate in Tallinn is the Mustjõgi River from here. The city produces 90% of its drinking water from surface water. The heart of the system, the Ülemiste water treatment plant, is located in the city center beside Lake Ülemiste. Most of the Tallinn's water bodies are in poor condition, largely due to the effect of urbanization. Tallinn city is actually no different from other EU capitals when it comes to water-related problems. When discussing these problems, it is vital to consider the pressures that can impact the quality of water. These pressures can originate from either point or diffuse source. While numerous sources exist, urban areas are currently experiencing the impact of increase in hard surfaces, such as rooftops and pavements. The majority of nutrient pollution loads in the Baltic Sea originate from large river catchment areas, like in Tallinn, like Pirita River, and stormwater outlets. Extreme water and climate-related events such as floods and droughts will become more frequent and intense in many regions, including Tallinn. Higher temperatures and extreme, less predictable weather conditions are projected to affect the availability and distribution of rainfall, snowmelt, river flows, and groundwater, and future deteriorate water quality. One of the significant challenges that the city of Tallinn is facing today is mitigating floods caused by excessive rainwater. Not all water pipes are designed with the maximum flow rates in mind, leading to flooding. This issue presents a significant risk to the city infrastructure and the safety of its residents. The third major challenge faced by Tallinn water bodies is marine litter. Marine litter is a global problem. The main reason for the generation and spread of marine litter is poor waste management on land. Marine litter is an increasingly pressing problem for Tallinn's waters due to the city's close proximity to the Baltic Sea. Waste from the city inhabitants often finds its way to the sea, causing ecological problems and threatening the health of humans and animals alike. Below, I will show you two diagrams that is showing the types of marine litter has been monitored in the river Pirita and Mustjõgi. And as you can see, the major findings comes from cigarette butts and filters. Here is the Mustjõgi. So even in the river Mustjõgi, it's 76% of findings come from that. So, and here is you can see one of the maps that blue dots indicate outlets where the litter ends up in the sea. Stormwater pipe outlets, monitoring stations, and estuaries. In case of interest, you can browse the map later and find more detailed information from that. So now we are heading how to face this challenge. So in the next sections, I will explain what we are focusing on how to address all these challenges. Overall, the city of Tallinn needs to take actions to ensure the long-term health and its water bodies. holistic approach which takes into account both of the natural environment and economical factor is essential for sustainable future. For this, the city is following two main strategy documents, like Krista already beforehand introduced: the Tallinn Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan for 2030 and Tallinn 2035 Development Strategy. So when we're talking about the flooding, to mitigate the floods caused by rainwater, we will focus on increasing the share of water permeable pavements, developing segregated sewage systems, and using rainwater as a resource. Tallinn City has many examples how to improve water quality and reduce the risk of flooding. So we can check some of them out. So some of these international projects what we have had in the past. One of them was the project He Water that focused on achieving healthier water quality in urban small rivers of the Baltic Sea catchment by restoration of water bodies and preventing of nutrients and hazardous substances inflow from watershed. So we can say that our experience, all these restorational works brought to us over 50% of reduction of nutrients. So it's a quite amazing results. The other project I would like to mention here is the project Life Urban Storm. So this project just ended a couple of weeks ago. And for Tallinn City, we designed 17 different natural-based solutions in Nõmme, Trummi district area. And construction works will start in the end of this year, beginning next. And also, it's important to mention that as this quite the topic of natural-based solution is quite new. The project, one of the main outputs were conducting this kind of handbook for sustainable rainwater solution suitable for our region here. So, and when we are moving on with the marine litter, how we are facing these challenges, one of the most important one is raising awareness about marine litter prevention and reduction in is an important activity that all municipalities should address. There are some of good examples from this kind of initiatives from the non-profit organizations. So I would like to mention definitely people from Tallinn has definitely seen this. Is this kind of the Meri algab siit, the sea starts here in summer and later years as well. More than 1,000 rainwater drainage holes were marked in the 15 larger cities and ports in Estonia to inform citizens about the danger of cigarette butts and entering the Baltic Sea. So this is just one of them, and maybe the most famous one, this kind of initiatives is Let's Do It World cleanup days that every year over the world is their events that they're holding. So if we move on how we are addressing the challenges with the marine litter, it's really good point to mention that this year the city of Tallinn will adopt a guide for environmentally friendly events. So this guide outlines general principles to reduce the use of plastic waste and minimize its impact on the environment. And in the other hand, we in the future definitely it is essential to supplement city regulations by requiring construction companies to implement measures to prevent the volatility of materials and waste during storage, collection, and transportation. So Tallinn City has actually just in the late past started two pilot programs focusing on this subject. I have linked in now my presentation. You can check them out a little bit later. One of them is Baltiplast, and the other one is non-HAZ City 3. So in the end, we are facing the end of my presentation. With the Green Capital team, there is international Baltic Sea small litter cleanup campaign happening in the end of the summer, beginning of September. So you can check out the more information from Green Capital team webpage. So this is one of the events focusing on water quality and marine litter. Yeah, and I would like to appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. So if you need any further information, feel free to contact me. And as Arthur mentioned, we already have some questions. So I am finished with my presentation and we can continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mai. Yeah, so we had two questions. So either for you or for Krista. So first intervention, I will just read it how it's written directly. So hello. First, we'll start to wish you all a happy World Water Day. My question is, how Tallinn politicians are looking toward climate and water goals? Is there resistance towards some goals? And if yes, how can you convince them towards sustainability goals achievement? So I think we can take that one and we'll just take the second one after. It's for you, Mai, or Krista.
Yes, maybe I can respond to that question. Number one is that as I already mentioned and Mai as well, that as we have those main strategic documents endorsed by the city government and city council, so I would say that there is consensus and commitment and understanding that we have to work with both green transition, environmental issues, and also climate and water. So in that sense, I would say that even if there are maybe some slight resistance from one or another politician, the general consensus and commitment is in place. Number two, when it comes to sustainability governance and sustainable urban administration, this is actually the kind of personal priority of our mayors. What he's looking for is of having more and better integrated projects and investments, and also kind of improving the competencies and capacities for dealing with kind of complex issues in more systematic and holistic way. This is also priority of our mayor. This number three, we have actually reorganized our city organization slightly. In 2020, we established the Tallinn Strategic Management Office. And the aim was to increase and to strengthen horizontal coordination of strategic development of the city of Tallinn. So we brought under Strategic Management Office umbrella all those units which are working with horizontal issues like service design, green transition, finances, strategic planning, spatial planning. So all of them are under one umbrella, and I think that definitely improved the coordination internally. And we have also established strategy coordination board, which includes the representatives from different departments in order to improve when it comes to improve collaboration and in order to break the silos when it comes to implementing concrete plans and programs and in order to create synergies. So I would say that maybe these are those kind of four aspects how we are working with these goals. And Of course, there are always someone who is not happy, but I would say that maybe we have more challenges related to CO2 emissions reduction rather than climate adaptation and water and environmental issues, and specifically when it comes to how to decrease the number of private cars in the city center. There are more like different opinions, but again, I think our politicians are increasingly understanding the urgency of climate action, and also our government has now taken kind of more concrete steps for green transition.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And now the second question was, I think it was you, Krista, during your presentation when you mentioned increased focus on water analysis and measuring. And the question, what is the aim of those analyzed and measuring? Does it mean that there will be a focus also on reducing medical residual and microplastic in water?
This is actually the question I have to forward to some of my colleagues, because I'm not working very specifically with water quality monitoring. So if there is someone who is able to respond, then please take the floor.
Yes, I think it's with every monitoring, it's actually giving us information. Is something going like in the right direction or like in the wrong direction? So definitely more or less this kind of wastewater treatment. Our colleague from Tallinn Water Company can share a little bit more insights. So I'm not so professional on that side, but definitely overall monitoring water will indicate any kind of measure that should be taken into account, some activities. So this is always on our mind.
Okay. Thank you very much to both of you, Krista and Mai. We will move to the next part of our program with the part on reflection. It will be 3 short presentations and then a round table where we will be asking the question that you can type into the Q&A. So please feel free to type your question in it. The first presenter will be Dr. Jana Polnok. She's the head of the hydrology department at the Estonian Environment Agency. You hold a PhD in civil engineering and a MSc in environmental science. And as I said, you are head of the hydrology department at the Estonian Environment Agency and also a lecturer in Tallinn School of Economics and a board member of the Estonian Water Association. Your presentation will be on mapping the flash flood in urban areas. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Yes, that's all what you said is true. So, yes, I hope you see my screen.
Yes.
I'm very happy that also both Mai and Krista emphasized that the climate change has and will have some severe effects. And also that the topic or subject, water, is so important to Tallinn city government. So from the Estonian Environmental Agency, we also would like to put some effort in order to avoid, for example, the damage to people's health and assets, which maybe can caused by the urban flash floods. And yes, we are developing the new service, which is like mapping the flash floods in urban environment. This service may be interesting not only for Tallinn city government, but also Tartu and some other Estonian cities And that's why we thought that, okay, we have the capability and let's do it. It's a side product. Actually, it's a side product from one bigger project, which is the satellite remote sensing of the floods in general. But since the satellite is not so operative, meaning that it flies over once a day or twice a day, and the flash floods are much faster than one day. Usually they take place within few hours after the heavy rainfall, and that's why this satellite service is not appropriate in case of urban flash floods. So the aim of this service is, of course, acquire the operative data about the urban flash floods, and in case of, then also give some public warning, like people, please don't go to some particular places because they are flooded. Stay home. It's the weather can be dangerous. Then also map in general these dangerous places and the areas with the flash flood risk. Then in the long perspective, also draw the correlations between the essence and frequency and also extent of the flash floods. Meaning that if the flash floods, we can draw correlation that, okay, this time in this place, the heavy precipitation, 10 millimeters in 1 hour caused this extent of the flood, or something like that. And then also establish the statistical database, how often this kind of events take place, what is the extent and duration of this flash floods, and with this information to help local authorities to improve the planning the living houses or whatever infrastructure in these risk areas. The process itself should look like
quickly, we see only the first slide from your
really?
presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Just put it maybe in presentation mode, or just click on the left to the slide where you want to go, and
okay. Anything happened? Changed?
No. Yes. Now we see the process. Okay, now we see the slide about the process. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, now we see the first one, the new public service, the aim. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
With the drawing pictures. Perfect.
Well, I apologize. Well, the process itself should look like that we are prepared for the dangerous situation. We follow the weather forecast. We follow the radar information, and in case we see that, okay, this heavy rainfall will happen, we immediately apply for the flight permission with the drone, because it needs the flight permission in some areas. And then fast after the heavy rainfall, we go to the sites, because I have teams in Tallinn, Tartu, Pärnu, Narva, and they can reach within an hour. Do this in these locations operatively. and then we fly over the flooded area with a drone. We get the pictures, we forward the pictures to the social media channel with the warnings that people don't go there, and then also we convert this picture to the map layer, and later we can have this statistical service in the interactive map application in GeoServer. All right. Yeah, and actually this is it. We hope to help local authorities for better planning, avoid the damage to the people's health and assets, and yes, to also to be better prepared for this extreme weather events. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jana, for your presentation. So we'll please ask your question to the Q&A. I think we'll move to the next presentation from Professor Eva Arnus, Professor of Urban Water System at the Tallinn University of Technology, where you are also Vice Dean for Academic Affairs in the School of Engineering. You have profound experience in leading and coordinating international and national research and development projects in urban water system with a focus on climate change adaptation and mitigation measure, risk management, real-time control modeling, and digitalization. And today's presentation will be focusing on studying water in Tallinn. Thank you very much, Professor. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Artur, for a nice introduction. And as it was said, I'm leading the Urban Water Systems research group in Tallinn University of Technology. And within a few next slides, I will give you an overview of the, let's say, research activities that we are doing in the sense of water-based research. So thank you very much for Krista and Mai and Jana as well for giving this broader overview of the challenges that we have actually. We are talking about climate change adaptation and mitigation, of course, and in the urban environment, we are more and more, as Mai mentioned, talking about the integration of different blue and green solutions with the existing gray ones. We like to extend it with the white and smart solutions as well, because the winters can be quite cold and so on. So we need to study actually how those nice green and blue solutions react to those minus degrees as well. We have aging infrastructure all over the Europe and developed world, so that's something that we are looking into as well. So how this older pipes, which doesn't have anymore this kind of capacity that they should, are actually helping us in the way to mitigate or adapt with the climate change. And I think the last broader section that I will focus on is the digital transformation in the water sector. What kind of decision support tools we need. Jana showed us one, and how we can actually use them. Therefore, we need a lot of knowledge transfer between the academies, between the municipalities, between the water utilities, and so on. So capacity building as one of the keywords maybe as well. So here are some thoughts about the digital transformation or some research areas that we are looking into at the moment. One thing is, of course, the intervention, that where should we do something in order to make things better. As Krista showed, that in Tallinn, there shouldn't be a problem because 25% of the whole city area is covered with green, but actually those areas where we have, let's say, pluvial flood risks, they're not so green. So what we have developed with our team is this kind of a decision support system for the municipalities to show them or to reflect them that where are the potential risk areas, where could we expect floods in the future, extreme weather events, and so on. And on the other hand, we can see where are the opportunities to do something, to intervene. So this kind of overlapping or overmapping is one thing that we're looking for, and then we can provide some solutions. Other maybe this nice heading is we're talking or developing distributed model predictive real-time control solutions for urban water systems, and this is beginning from sensors. There was a question that why do we need monitoring, for example, and what are we monitoring? Monitoring is maybe the only key factor that we can actually use in order to shift to this kind of a data-based decision, because if we don't have any data about our system functionalities, then we cannot actually react as well. So in the university, we are actually developing different sensors, very cheap, very simple, using low power and long range communication technologies, for example, in order to get to know more about the efficiency of our urban drainage systems. And at the same time, we have already built quite a number of pilots of this smart stormwater systems in different Estonian cities. And the first ones will be built in Tallinn in the upcoming projects where we are actually part as well in the coming years. And how to actually do it all? We need a lot of capacity building. We need a lot of shared knowledge, and therefore of course we are providing different curriculums and continuing education courses to the specialists, not only in Estonia but in the Baltic Sea region in broader sense. And I will point out maybe one initiative that is ongoing at the moment, this Joint Research Center initiative, Science Meets Regions, where we actually leading the process with the Ministry of Environment and Estonian Waterworks Association, how to push this kind of a digitalization of water sector in Estonia to a better place, or how to provide these innovative solutions more and more into real action. And of course, in the sense of Tallinn, we are cooperating a lot with Tallinn Water Company, and we were talking about the aging infrastructure, for example, and Mai reflected that the pipes are not always dimensioned to cope with future extremes, and therefore we have provided some database digital solutions for the water company as well to assess what kind of pipes should be replaced and in what order in the future in order to keep the level of service that they have at the moment. So this was my 5 minutes. Thank you for the time, and looking forward for some questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Aivar, for your really good and really interesting presentation. Now the next one will be a presentation by Prit Kapak, Environmental and Quality Manager at Tallinn Waterworks. You have been working in the water sector for about 10 years, 7 years in a small water utility, and 3 years now at Tallinnas Vesi or Tallinns Waterwork, which is the largest water utility in Estonia. And your role is to ensure that companies' action are in line with the environmental permits and with environmental management system. And you are also managing the company's carbon footprints. Your presentation today will focus on working in the water sector in Tallinn. Prit, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Prit, and I will give you a brief overview of what we are going to do and what our plans are. So Tallinns Vesi is the largest water utility company in Estonia. As said before, nearly 1/3 of Estonia's population use our services. The average drinking water consumption is about 20 million cubic meters, which of 90% is produced from surface water and 10% from groundwater. Last year, we treated about 46 million cubic meters of wastewater. Roughly half of this volume is pure wastewater, and the other half is stormwater from combined sewer systems. We also have been implementing ISO 14001 and EMAS environmental system nearly 2 decades. Every year we also published environmental report, and it is available at our website. It's also in English, so it will give a quite thorough overview what we do and how we do it. So, as I said before, we are deeply dependent on the natural resources, which is why it is vital to us to protect and preserve these resources. For this, we have created a climate impact reduction plan to mitigate our greenhouse gas emissions. The first step was to start using electricity produced only from renewable resources. And our next step is to install cogeneration of heat and power station, which will cover about 50% of the energy consumption at the wastewater treatment plant. But our long-term plan is to cover 50% of the entire company's energy consumption. To achieve this, we plan to install about 5 megawatts of solar parks and reduce our electricity and heat consumption. To provide sustainable water service, we also need to make sure that our drinking water quality is high across all our service area. Each year we take more than 3,000 samples across the service area from more than 100 different locations. To maintain high quality of drinking water, we have implemented a new pipe cleaning technology. It's called the ice pigging. It basically means we are using ice slurry to remove sediments inside the pipe. Also, it's big improvement for the water meters to replace them with the digital ones because it will make the billing process more convenient, and it also can detect leakages, which helps consumers to act quickly if problems should occur. Effluent quality from the wastewater treatment plant meets all the requirements. To make sure that the influent load isn't too high for the treatment plant, we also monitor some of our clients' wastewater, like serious, like big industries and such kind of clients. If the client's wastewater is highly polluted, then the treatment process isn't that effective, and which means we must use more energy, chemical, etc. And for the practical example, I would like to share a case study that we have been doing like for the past 2 years. So the problem was that the water quality in the public beach didn't comply with the requirements for the bathing water. So we started to monitor microbiological parameters in our stormwater system to figure out where the pollution was coming from. To this date, we have taken more than 800 samples across the catchment area of these problematic stormwater outlets. And what we found is that 15 properties was the cause, not all their fault, but 15 properties we found, and the main problem was old pipes, illegal overflows, and some even unintentional construction mistakes. After these problems were resolved, the total phosphorus and total nitrogen in the stormwater outlet also dropped. These substances have an impact on eutrophication of the water bodies. So it's very important to make sure that phosphorus and nitrogen concentration are as low as possible. we have also started to use an automated sampler, which gives much wider picture of water quality in longer time scale. This chart at the bottom of the slide describes how the water quality changes in 24 hours. This data helps us to plan our sampling timing and narrowing down the search area. Microbiological pollution isn't always related to wastewater. We've been taking samples from the street gullies, and it showed that some of the microbiological pollution comes from roads and pavements when it's raining. The reason for that are the animals and bird species, probably. And for the conclusion, we need to keep monitoring stormwater outlets more frequently. Riha is a good indicator, but it's a little bit slow method. That's why we're looking for online monitoring to discover pollution much faster. And to end with the good news, the water quality in Stroomi beach is rated as good. So you can go and swim. That's it for me.
Thank you very much, Preet, for your presentation, and also for ending on a positive note about the water quality at the beach in Tallinn. We had just a quick comment on the chat. If you can maybe tell us more about ice pigging quickly, please.
What is ice pigging?
Yeah,
it's like I said, it's like ice slurry is pumped in the pipe, and the ice is like scraping the sediments inside the pipes, and then on the other end it comes out with those sediments, and the pipe is clean. I should just Google ice pigging, and I think the videos give much clearer answer.
perfect. Thank you very much. And then we had a question that could be for you, but also for Eva or Jana, where also, what are your thoughts on promoting domestic greywater we use to help achieve net zero? It's a bit more technical.
To reuse greywater.
Yeah. Or domestic greywater we use in order to achieve the net zero objective for the water sector. It's
Yeah, sure.
either for you or for Eva.
In the point of water utility, if it's possible to reuse, then of course it should be. But as I covered, for us, 46 million cubic meters of like water is coming into our plant. So it's really hard to find a solution how to reuse that kind of water.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your questions. Wait, I see we have another one. Okay. Yeah, then there's another question just for you, but I think it's just mentioning, but also, I mean, just for everyone and just for general knowledge, someone asked saying that there is a big, let's say, baker just factory in Tallinn, and they're just asking the sewage system is connected to the urban sewage system, or if it's independent. If you know about it, any of you? Yeah. And otherwise, I had a couple of questions on my side, but first of all, either to you, Preet, Eva, and Anya as well, thank you very much for your presentation. I have to admit that I was quite happy to see that there are already quite a lot of synergies between all of you and your institution, that you all know each other, that you work together already, because I can say from experience, it's not always the case. And maybe Eva, I had maybe a bit question for you. If I put you a bit on the spot, to be honest, what could be the main recommendation from, let's say, the scientific community in Estonia to the policy makers regarding water challenges?
Yeah, this is something actually that we have just briefly discussed with the ministry representatives and with waterworks associations as well, or association. And one thing that we see that if we want to push innovation in the sector more forward, then actually it should be in that way that the regulation comes first, and then then the sector starts to react based on that regulation. So in that perspective, we are actually now looking for the first pilots. One thing that is in Estonia common for all municipalities, they need to do their strategical plans for the water systems renovation and rehabilitation for the 4 years and 10 years and so on. So the first pilot in our sense would be that how can we actually digitalize this process, make it more data-based, so that we can say that you do something and the efficiency of the whole overall process actually increases so much that you want to do the same initiatives in the similar sectors as well. So regulations first, then the communication, and then the sector will follow.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And then I had the questions either for you, but could also be for Preet, just on is there already, either in your institution or companies or with the Tallinn municipality, some initiative to type of matching what's learned or the skills that are developed at the technological university and the needs for private sectors in terms of the water sector? So what do they need, or is they need more digitization, or if they need, for example, your students to be trained on a specific program or something like this? Because sometimes we see, or we can see that there could be a gap between what's learned and what's actually the need on the ground for either the municipality or water sectors companies.
I don't know about how tight our connection are, because I think Ivar also probably like investigate the technical part, but I am just dealing with the environmental side. But on that side, I think maybe we're not talking too much to each other. It should be like tighter connection, maybe.
Yeah, maybe I can just reflect on that. Preet is right that we have very close cooperation with the construction part and with the technical development, the modeling, the rehabilitation, and so on, with the water company. And I think that the students that come out from the university are more designers of the pipelines and so on. So again, with a very clear technical mindset, but our curricula are transforming yearly. So we are always, trying to build those based on the new initiatives, and then those sustainability goals and so on are all already being put into the curricula as well.
Thank you very much for your answers. And we had another question, Preet, for you. I guess the privilege of being the last speakers. What non-dig method Tallinn Water has chosen to use, and what was the main reason for this choice?
Okay, it's also quite technical technical question. I know there are quite many different solutions. Maybe even Ivar can answer this question better. I don't know in the technical part so well.
So I just know that they are using different kind of methods. First is that you pull a new pipe inside the old one, and the other one is just drill drill this kind of a hole for the pipe and then you lay it down afterwards. So different kind of methods based on the location and the soil properties, of course, as well.
Yeah, but the best part for the no-dig method is that we don't generate the waste, because if we like use the classical, like the open trench method, then this soil has to dig out, and we need to use the transportation to move it like the west side to recycle this, or and usually we cannot reuse it in the same spot. That means we need to like mine sand and use to fill sand this trench, because usually pipes are located under the roads. So the more we use the no-dig method, the less waste we generate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Then I don't see if you have any questions or comments on the chat or Q&A, please feel free to type them in. So far, I don't think we have any new ones there. Then I had couples here, and it was mentioned by quite a lot of you, and also Krista or Mai, that one of the challenges for the city of Tallinn is also the rainwater and rainwater floods and also overflow. Just maybe to if we have some people in a participant that don't really know the city, of never been there. How often is it occurring, and something else? Can you please provide a bit more details? Thank you. Right. Oh, okay. So we are trying to see who. No. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if Tallinn wants to comment it, but
was the question for me? I didn't hear it. Maybe there.
No,
some,
it was
like,
just
trouble in the speakers.
sorry. No, it was just to say that maybe one of the main challenges faced by the city of Tallinn that was mentioned was rainwater overflow, and I just was curious on how often is it occurring if we're talking about something that might happen. I don't know if it only every 5 years due to really extreme rainflow, or often, just for someone that's not been to the city of Tallinn and, for example, doesn't know the climate, for example. Just quickly.
We have like the major, like this overflow is located at our main pumping station, and last year we didn't open it. But prior to this, we have usually opened this about 3 or 4 times per year. And we open only the overflows when the wastewater and stormwater dilution is at least 1 to 4. But usually it's like 1 to 5. That means 1 part is wastewater and like 5 or 6 parts are stormwater. But yeah, last year was quite few rainy days, so we didn't need to open this overflow.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's still something that can occurs quite regularly. Okay, I think we are slowly reaching the end of the webinar. We are entering the last 5 minutes. I don't see any questions again on the chat or on your Q&A. So I don't know if any of the speakers present today wants to maybe make a final keynotes or points. Otherwise, I think we will slowly close for today. I think maybe Krista.
Yes. Number one, like to respond or follow up your questions regarding the frequency of the extreme climate events. Of course, together with global warming, those events are also becoming more and more frequent in the city of Tallinn. We have mapped these areas as well where we have, the risk of flooding, and one of our aims is also to use more intensively and extensively, of course, nature-based solutions as well, and also maybe to have, when it comes to city planning, then you plan also the places which can serve as, which are kind of multifunctional areas, which can serve as the water reservoirs in order to really take the water out from the streets quicker and to prevent flooded areas. Yeah, there is a lot of work ahead, that's for sure. And maybe one thing we didn't mention today is that we together in collaboration with Tallinn Technical University, we are developing green 3D model for urban greenery. But actually there has also been now plans for, let's say, developing it further and so that it can also include the possibilities for 3D modeling of blue infrastructure of the city, and this is definitely related to storm water management and then modeling as well. So, which is, I think, very useful tool for urban planners and architects. But I'm very happy about these discussions, and I really thank you, Arthur, for contacting us and proposing to organize that webinar together. I think we need to meet much often than we do, and I think there is a lot the good practices and ideas to exchange, and there are very good solutions already available, and we need to really peer learn and learn from each other more. But thank you so much, Arthur and Johannes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kirsta. I was really happy to organize this seminar with you and the city of Tallinn, and I would like to thank especially you, Krista, and you colleagues for supporting us in the organization of this webinar, and also to Jana, Eva, and Preet for taking the time to talk with us today. As I mentioned, it was really interesting for me to see that already some discussion and cooperation taking place between all of you. And just a reminder for everyone, so the YouTube, so that webinar was recording and the YouTube video will be available in 1 or 2 weeks on the EWA channel. We will share the presentation with you. If you have any questions that were not answered now, please send them to me or to our colleagues. And yeah, you can follow and get in touch with us either on our social media. We have Twitter account, our website, our LinkedIn, Facebook. It's the same for the Tallinn city and the European Green Capital. So once again, and you can also subscribe to the EWA newsletter. Once again, thank you very much to everyone, our participants and our speakers. And if I'm not wrong, when you will close that link, you will have a short questionnaire to provide us with feedbacks about that webinar. So thank you very much. We wish you again a good World Water Days. Have a good day, and it was a pleasure again to exchange with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the cooperation. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.